Let's be honest. This question, why are women always unhappy, is everywhere. You hear it in jokes, you see it in movies, and if you listen to enough guys talk about their relationships, it comes up again and again, but nobody really wants to dig into it. Most people just shrug and say, that's just how women are. But is it? Or is there something deeper going on that nobody talks about? I'm not here to bash women or blame anyone. I'm just here to talk about what I've seen, what I've lived, and what I've heard from people who are tired of pretending everything is fine. Because let's face it, a lot of men feel like they're stuck in a game they can't win. No matter what they do, it's never enough. And a lot of women feel like something is missing, even when their lives look perfect from the outside. So what's really happening? Why do so many women seem unhappy, restless, or just not satisfied? Let's break it down, step by step, and see if we can get to the truth nobody tells you. First, let's talk about the feeling that nothing is ever enough. You know the story. You bring home flowers, but they're the wrong color. You plan a date, but it's not the right restaurant. You help with the dishes, but you're doing it wrong. You don't help. You're lazy. You work hard. You're never home. You stay home. You're not ambitious. It's like no matter what you do, there's always something to complain about. After a while, you start to wonder if you're the problem. But here's the thing. It's not really about you. That's the part nobody says out loud. The constant criticism, the feeling that something is always missing. It's not about the man, or the job, or the house. It's about something deeper, something that started long before you ever showed up. I've seen this pattern in my own life, in my friends' lives, and in stories from people all over the world. It's like there's this invisible script, and everyone is acting it out without even knowing. At first, everything is great, the honeymoon phase. Then, slowly, the complaints start. Not romantic enough, too soft, too hard, not listening, listening too much. It doesn't matter what you change. The complaints just move to something else. It's like chasing a shadow. So what's behind this? Let's start with the basics. Some of it is just how people are wired. Science says about half of your personality is genetic. Some people are born seeing the glass half empty. For some women, that's just their default setting. It's not a choice. It's just how their brain works. I've seen families where the grandmother was always unhappy, the mother was always unhappy, and now the daughter is always unhappy. 3 generations, same story. They could have everything and still find something to complain about. It's not about what they have, it's about how they see the world. But that's just the start. The real roots go back to childhood. Every unhappy woman I've known had one of 2 things in her past, sometimes both. First, a bad relationship with her dad. Maybe he was gone. Maybe he was cold. Maybe he just didn't know how to show love. She grows up expecting men to disappoint her, and guess what? She finds ways to make that true, over and over. Either she picks guys who let her down, or she sets the bar so high that nobody can reach it. Second, she watched her mom be unhappy. Maybe her mom complained about everything, criticized her dad, never seemed satisfied. The daughter soaks that up, even if she swears she'll never be like her mom. Fast forward 20 years, and she's saying the same things, making the same complaints, creating the same atmosphere she grew up in. Not because she wants to, but because it's what feels normal. Familiar beats happy, every time. And then there's the fantasy gap. Modern women grow up on a diet of Disney princesses, romantic comedies, Instagram influencers. They're told they deserve the world. Romance, adventure, luxury, excitement. Then real life happens. Bills, chores, arguments, boring routines. The gap between what they expected and what they got becomes a source of constant disappointment. I knew a woman, let's call her Lisa. Smart, beautiful, married to a good guy. 6 months in, she's miserable. Why? Because she thought marriage would fix everything inside her. When it didn't, she blamed him. Not romantic enough, not successful enough, not attentive enough. But the truth is, no man could have filled that hole. It was there before he showed up, and it'll be there after he's gone. This is where the moving target comes in. If only he made more money, she'd be happy. He gets a raise. Now it's if only they had a bigger house. They move. Now it's if only he was more attentive. He tries. Now he's too clingy. The goalposts keep moving because the problem isn't the circumstances. It's the feeling inside. Social media makes it worse. Every woman sees her friends' highlight reels, vacations, gifts, perfect husbands, perfect kids. She compares her real life to everyone else's best moments and feels cheated. She doesn't see the debt, the arguments, the stress behind the scenes. She just knows she doesn't have what they have, and someone must be to blame. Even when women get what they want, it doesn't last. There's this thing I call the devaluation effect. The moment something becomes hers, it loses value. She wanted a boyfriend. Now she wants a husband. She gets married. Now she wants a different kind of man. It's the same with everything. Curly hair, straight hair, career, stay-at-home life. Whatever she has, she wants the opposite. And it happens with men too. The guy she couldn't live without becomes the guy she can barely stand. His jokes go from charming to annoying. His stability goes from attractive to boring. His attention goes from romantic to suffocating. Nothing changed except her perception, but she doesn't see it as her own pattern. She thinks he changed, or he tricked her, or he's not who she thought he was. The truth is, it's the same story, just a new chapter. Let's talk about comparison, because this is a huge part of the story. Social media has turned everyone's life into a competition. Even if nobody admits it, every woman now has a front row seat to thousands of other women's lives, or at least the version they want you to see. She sees her co-worker's anniversary trip, her sister's new kitchen, her friend's weight loss, her neighbor's new car. Every single thing becomes proof that her own life is missing something. It's not just envy, it's a constant reminder that she's falling behind, even if she's actually doing fine. I've seen this play out in real time. A woman will scroll through her feed, see a friend's husband buy her a fancy gift, and suddenly her own husband is on trial. Never mind that the friend's marriage is a mess, or that the gift was bought on credit. All she sees is what she doesn't have. It's like a highlight reel of everything she thinks she's missing, and it eats away at her happiness. But here's something most men don't get. A lot of women feel like they have to perform. They've been taught since they were little girls to wear masks, play roles, be whatever they need to be, to get and keep a man. So they act easygoing when they're actually high maintenance, act flirty when they're not really interested, act domestic when they hate housework. Then, after marriage, the mask comes off. Now she's angry at having to pretend, angry at him for not seeing through the act, angry at herself for not being real. It's exhausting. And that exhaustion turns into resentment, which turns into chronic dissatisfaction. She's unhappy because she's not being herself, but she can't be herself because she's convinced her real self isn't good enough. so she stays stuck in this performance, and everyone ends up miserable. There's also the problem of not knowing what she actually wants. A lot of women never really figure out their own values, their own goals, their own sense of self. They just know what they're supposed to want according to their family, their friends, Instagram, whatever. So they chase after things that look good on the outside, but don't actually make them happy. They pick partners to impress other people, choose careers for the status, make life choices based on what they think they should want, not what they actually want. Then they wonder why they feel empty, and because they don't have strong boundaries, they end up absorbing everyone else's emotions, everyone else's problems, everyone else's expectations. They get overwhelmed, exhausted, and dissatisfied with a life that doesn't even feel like theirs. It's like living someone else's story and wondering why it doesn't fit. Now, let's talk about expectations. Modern women have been told they're queens, goddesses, prizes to be won. They deserve everything, and men should be grateful just to be in their presence. But here's the catch. You can't respect someone you see as beneath you, and you can't be happy in a relationship with someone you don't respect. I've seen women treat men like servants, then wonder why they feel disconnected and empty. You can't build a real connection if you're always looking down on the other person. There's also this weird thing where some women seem to sabotage their own happiness. They say they want stability, then create chaos. Say they want peace, then start fights. Say they want love, then push it away. It's not always on purpose. Sometimes it's just old programming. Dysfunction feels familiar, so they recreate it even when they don't want to. I've watched women in good relationships start arguments out of nowhere, just because the peace feels suspicious, like it can't last. Better to blow it up now than wait for it to fall apart later. And then there's the grass is greener syndrome, but on steroids. It's not just thinking someone else might be better. It's being bombarded every day with images and stories of how much better everyone else supposedly has it. Engagement announcements, baby photos, new jobs, vacations, glow-ups. Each one feels like proof that she settled, missed out, chose wrong. It's a never-ending cycle of comparison and regret. The biological clock adds another layer. Women have a limited window for certain things. Marriage, kids, building a family. That creates a kind of background anxiety that men don't always understand. She's either rushing to hit milestones and stressed about the pressure, or she's hit the milestones and disappointed they didn't make her happy, or she's missed them and grieving what she'll never have. No matter what, there's this sense of time running out, and it poisons happiness. I remember talking to a woman in her late 30s. She had a good job, a nice apartment, a decent relationship, but she was miserable. She said, "I did everything right, but the plan was wrong, and now it's too late to change." She'd followed the script. Career first, independence, city life. But now she felt trapped by her own choices, with no way to go back. There's also the testing and manipulation that some women do, often without even realizing it. They test boundaries to feel secure, but the testing creates conflict. They manipulate to get their needs met, but it destroys trust. They create drama to feel intensity, but it just wears everyone out. They're literally creating the conditions for their own unhappiness while believing they're just trying to get what they need. And let's not forget the princess programming. From the time they're little, girls are told they're special, unique, destined for a fairy tale life. Then they grow up, and reality is just normal. Their prince has morning breath and dirty socks. The castle is a 2-bedroom apartment. There's no happily ever after, just daily life with all its mess and disappointment. The gap between the fantasy and the reality is a recipe for constant dissatisfaction. The have it all myth makes it even worse. Women are told they can have everything: career, family, romance, adventure, money, fulfillment in every area, all at once. But real life is about trade offs. If you focus on your career, you have less time for family. If you focus on family, you might have to give up some career dreams. If you want financial security, you might have to sacrifice some excitement. But admitting that feels like failure, so they stay stuck, always wanting more, never satisfied with what they have. I've seen career women miserable because they don't have families, stay-at-home moms miserable because they don't have careers, and women trying to do both miserable because they're exhausted and feel like they're failing at everything. The have-it-all myth has created a generation of women who feel like failures no matter what they achieve, because there's always something they're not achieving. And here's the darkest part. For some women, unhappiness becomes an identity. They bond with other women by complaining. They get attention by being victims. They avoid responsibility by blaming others. They've been unhappy for so long, they don't even know who they'd be if they were happy. Happiness would mean changing everything about how they see themselves. And that's scary. Let's get real about what this all means for relationships. If you're a man in this situation, you probably know the feeling. You try to fix things. You try to make her happy. But it's like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You solve one problem, another pops up. You meet one need, suddenly there's a new one. It's exhausting, and after a while, you start to lose yourself. You walk on eggshells. You second-guess everything you say. You apologize for things you didn't even do. You start to wonder if you're the crazy one. But here's the truth. You can't make someone happy if they don't want to be happy. You can't fill a hole that was there before you ever showed up. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself. I've seen good men turn into shells of who they used to be, just from trying to please someone who can't be pleased. They lose their confidence, their spark, their sense of humor. They become anxious, depressed, and sometimes even resentful. And the worst part, it doesn't work. She's still unhappy, and now you are too. So what's the answer? Is it hopeless? Not really, but it does mean you have to stop thinking you can fix someone else's happiness. That's not your job. Your job is to be the best version of yourself, to set boundaries, to know your own worth. If someone is always unhappy, always complaining, always moving the goalposts, you have to ask yourself, was she happy before you met her? Does she take responsibility for her own feelings? Or is she always looking for someone else to blame? If the answer is no, then you need to understand that her unhappiness isn't about you. It's about her. And unless she's willing to do the work, real work, not just talking about it, nothing you do will ever be enough. That's a hard truth, but it's also freeing. You don't have to spend your life trying to fix what you didn't break. For women, the truth is just as tough. If you find yourself always dissatisfied, always looking for the next thing, always comparing your life to others, it might be time to look in the mirror. Are you chasing someone else's dream? Are you living by someone else's script? Are you expecting a relationship, a job, a house, or a new city to fix what's broken inside? Because if you are, you'll always be disappointed. No one else can fill that hole for you. The only way out is to get real with yourself. Figure out what actually matters to you. Not what your friends want, not what your mom wants, not what Instagram says you should want. What do you want? What makes you feel alive? What are you grateful for right now, even if it's small? Because happiness isn't about having everything. It's about appreciating what you have and making peace with what you don't. It's also about accepting that life is messy. There's no perfect partner, no perfect job, no perfect family. Everyone has flaws. Everyone has bad days. Everyone gets bored or frustrated or lonely sometimes. That's normal. The trick is to stop expecting life to be a fairy tale and start finding joy in the real, imperfect, everyday moments. And if you're in a relationship, the best thing you can do is be honest with yourself and with your partner. If you're unhappy, say so. If you need something, ask for it. If you're grateful, show it. Stop playing games. Stop testing. Stop waiting for someone else to read your mind. Real connection comes from being real, not from pretending to be someone you're not. For both men and women, the real secret is this: happiness is an inside job. It's not about what you have, or who you're with, or what you achieve. It's about how you see the world, how you treat yourself, and how you show up every day. If you're always looking for reasons to be unhappy, you'll find them. But if you start looking for reasons to be grateful, to laugh, to connect, you'll find those too. So, why are women always unhappy? The truth is, not all women are, but the ones who are usually have a pattern, a script they picked up somewhere along the way. Maybe it's from family, maybe it's from society, maybe it's just how they're wired. But the good news is, patterns can change, scripts can be rewritten. It's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with being honest, taking responsibility, and deciding to do the work. If you're a man dealing with this, remember, you can't fix someone else's happiness. You can only control your own. If you're a woman who feels stuck in this cycle, remember, you're not broken, but you do have the power to change your story. It starts with you. And maybe, just maybe, if more people started being real about what's going on inside, we'd all be a little less unhappy and a lot more connected.